with this tank now, this is the biggest tank we have at the Midland Aquarium, holding roughly 5.2 million litres of water. This is a lot of water, basically. If you were going to fill this up with one bathtub of water per day, it'd take you about 100 years to fill it to the top. So it is a lot of water.
Wow, that's
Now, to justify that much water, we do have some big fish and some big sharks in this tank. And we're going to run through some of those now. Before we say about our sharks, is anybody here scared of sharks? Put your hands up if you are scared of sharks.
no.
Yeah, some people. No. On the back, scared of sharks. Okay, no worries. So generally, with a fear of sharks, it's usually due to movies and pop culture. Usually, we're scared they're going to eat us more than anything. All right? Yeah. Usually, that's what it is. Scary teeth, the big, the scary, they're going to hunt us, all that. It's not true. Likelihood of us getting hurt by a shark is around about 5 every year-ish. About 5 and 7 million if you did it.
More people get killed by coconuts than
Now,
rats.
it is more likely that you go to a vending machine and get crushed flat by the vending machine. It is more likely that you go into a field and get injured by a cow. And it is more likely that you are going to be bitten by the person sat next to you in this very room.
No.
Now, with our lovely sharks in this tank, we do have a variation of a couple of different species. To start off, you've got the big ones, which are the sand tigers.
Yeah, I am.
Then you've got the nurse shark, you've got the zebra shark, the black-tip reef, and the bamboo at the bottom. Now, with the sand tigers, if anybody's been here before, you may know our ladies, as they are probably the most famous of our sharks. We've got Betty, who is the biggest. She is about 12.5 foot long and about 200 kilo. For anyone who's not sure, 12.5 foot is about from me to the staircase over there.
55 kilos.
So she is quite big. Then we've got Wilma, who is the oldest of all of our sharks. She has been here since we opened in 1998. And she is roughly about 45 at the minute, going on to 46. Now, this does mean that she's the longest living resident. She is the oldest shark, and she is more than double her average life expectancy, which is only 18 years. So she's doing amazing to get to 45, 46. Now, with the males in the tank, we have the smallest, which is Baby Dave. Not much else needs to be said about Baby Dave. He is the smallest and the youngest of all of our sharks. Well, sand sharks, right? Then we've got the alpha, which is Flair. Now, Flair is well defined by his open jaw, as it is dislocated.
I'm putting this on YouTube.
Basically, what happened is he had gum disease as a baby, and that upper jaw got stuck in the dislocated position. As sharks will naturally dislocate their jaw every time they feed, it got stuck while feeding. Now, with the dislocation and the gum disease, we treated the gum disease straight away, but decided not to do the operation to fix the dislocation. The reason for that, there's not much point in doing it. There isn't any pain, there is no discomfort, there's no struggle eating, therefore there wouldn't really be a benefit of doing the operation. It would just be what's seen as a cosmetic surgery. It will be done for looks, and we only want to do operations that are going to benefit our sharks in some way. Then we have the last two. We've got the brothers, Alfie and Dingle. Now, Dingle's my personal favourite. He is the gentleman of the group. He is very spatially aware. He's very considerate about the other animals. If they're swimming along, he'll let them pass and then he'll carry on his merry way. Alfie, on the other hand, has no clue what's going on. He doesn't really know where he is, what he's doing, what's around him, which does mean a lot of the time he will swim headfirst into a fish, into a diver, into another shark, or even into a wall. Well, that is what he's always been like, and he's never changed from the day we got him. So that is just what he's like. And that is how he's got his name as the Crazy Shark. Now, with our other sharks, we've got the lovely Sundance, who's just swam past there. And that is our lovely lady, who is a nurse shark. And she is probably the most active shark in this tank, as she is constantly looking for something to eat. She doesn't usually find anything to eat, but if she does, she will always eat it. And that is why she's put on a little bit of weight. So we have put her onto a bit of a diet to try to reduce that weight that she's gained. And it is starting to work. Now, when I say a diet, I don't mean we've stopped feeding her or we've reduced the food or we reduce the amount of feeding times. It's just a different kind of food. So instead of one kind of fish, we'll give another fish that has a little bit less oil in it. Now, the lovely Cassidy, who I can't see at the minute, he'll probably be asleep at the back there, is one of the lazier sharks that we've got in the tank. He generally will be asleep in the back corner because he's found a water vent there that constantly pumps water into the tank. If he lies in front of it, he gets a bit of a massage. So he's loving life there. Who have we got? We've got the lovely Dingle up at the top. He's our gentleman there. Now, we have the lovely Marty, who came around at the very end of the last show, so hopefully he'll time it a bit better and come up midway through. Now, Marty is our zebra shark. He does like to be the centre of attention. He likes the limelight quite a lot, so he hopefully will come up at some point so we can see him. And he will confuse some people because he isn't striking. Even though he's a zebra shark, he's covered in spots. And the reason for this is zebra sharks get their name from when they're a baby. When zebra sharks are babies, they're covered in stripes all the way down the body. As they grow up and mature, the stripes fade away and become spots. So the reason that he's spotty is because he is fully mature at this stage of life. Then the last two sharks that we've got in this tank, we have the blacktip reef sharks, as well as the bamboo sharks. Now the blacktip reef, we saw one or two, I think, swim past, and they are going to be constantly swimming. They will never stop swimming. And that is because they need a constant flow of water going through their gills in order to breathe. One of about 8 to 9-ish species of shark in the world, that we know of anyway, that have to have a constant flow of water in order to breathe. A lot of people think all sharks need this, but it isn't necessarily true. Most sharks can choose to do this, so they will choose to stay still or to swim, and it's completely up to them what they want to do. Whereas some sharks will stay completely still, such as the bamboo sharks. The bamboo sharks are a nocturnal species, so most of the time they will be asleep around this time, but they will sometimes pop up during feeds. Now we do have the divers coming through. If you guys give a wave, if they will go to you, they should wave back. There it is. We've got the lovely Ella coming in here. How you doing, Mum? And then we've got Mike coming in second. He's a bit slower because he is old. Give him a wave. In he comes. Hello. There he goes. Now, with the lovely divers we've got in this tank, obviously they cannot hear a word I'm saying, otherwise I wouldn't say Mike's old. So instead of talking to them, we're going to give sign language. And to make sure they're okay, we want to do a good okay sign. So we'll see how Ella's doing. We're good. How are we doing, Mike? There you go. You can see the brain kind of working there. Now, with our lovely divers, we're going to go through the equipment that we've got. We're going to go through the weight belts first. Oh, he's speeding up a bit. There you go. He's woke up. Now, two different ways of having it. Ella has them in her pockets, whereas Mike has the belt. Same thing, just a different way around. Lead weights, very heavy, very dense metal, keeping them nice and low to the bottom of the tank. This is a saltwater tank, which means that the bodies would rise to the surface usually, and they would float away. So these keep them nice and low to the bottom of the tank, so that they can do maintenance, health checks, feeds, and also shows. Now I'm going to give you a spin round so that you can see the tanks on their backs. We've got Baby Dave just above them there. Now, the tanks on our divers, you'll see they have two each. You've got the big tank, that's what they're breathing through at the minute. The smaller one is referred to as a pony. Now, the pony is used as two things. The first one, reserve source of air. So if they run out of air in their main tank, they'll start to breathe through the pony tank. The second thing is to inflate something called their BCD, which is their vest, where it's just like a life jacket. They push a button, air goes in, they go up. Push another button, air comes out, they go down. Nice and simple. It's also a good way of them to become perfectly buoyant in the water. So when they're swimming, if they're staying still and not really doing much, that's because they're perfectly buoyant, floating in the middle of the water. Now, with our divers, we need weight checking how much air is left in the tank, so I'll get to show you that now. Thank you very much, guys. And you'll see that it looks a lot like a petrol gauge on a car, and that's because it pretty much is the same thing. The only difference is we're not measuring petrol, we are measuring the air in the tank. And the air in the tank is not pure oxygen. A lot of people think it is.
Do you want to be a photographer when you're older?
It is the exact same air that we're breathing right now, just condensed down into the tanks. Reason for this, pure oxygen is toxic under pressure. So if it was in the tanks for our divers, they would start to get poisoned from it. So it's the same air that we're breathing, just condensed down in the tank. It's nice and safe for them. Now, the lovely Mike here is our safety diver, and if you guys are really quiet, you should be able to hear this next bit. This is how he's going to communicate to Ella in the tank. Thank you very much. Do you want to head on? Oh, another one. Oh, lovely. I feel treated. Do you want to head on to your coral over there? Do you want to do your little feet? Do you want to do your show? I'm doing the show. Think, Jack. Now, the tapping will happen throughout the show. There will be a couple taps. Most of the time, it's just going to be, just so you know, Ella has a shark behind you. It's not because she's in any danger whatsoever. It's just because this is the shark's house. We want to be respectful and let the sharks carry on their way. We'll move around our sharks, not our sharks moving around us. Now, the first feed we're going to do is a target feed for our Southern Atlantic stingrays. We've got one of our lovely ladies chilling down here at the bottom. You guys will be able to see her down here. So hopefully she'll come up and I'll get to tell you who it is, because I can't tell while I don't see the belly. Come on.
That's a load of fish.
That is the lovely Ray Skywalker there, guys. We've got Greedy coming in second. Who's third? Come on. Greedy's got a fish. So we turn the flash off, sorry. It's just them two, so it's just our, it's Ray. Oh, there's Ray Charles in the back, guys. Our lovely male coming in. Now, as you can see, Ray Charles is a lot smaller than our females. That is because he's a male. With the stingrays, well, all animals in the aquatic kingdom, the males are always a lot smaller than the females. Just the way that it works in the aquatic kingdom. Now, up here you've got Spot. I think we do have Lala Del Rey. There she is. That's Lala Del Rey there. There's just had a collision with Spot. Now, with our stingrays, they will get the food directly put into their mouth. That is because the divers can't see the mouth, so they have to feel for the stingray to take the fish rather. And they do this because they need to monitor how much is actually being fed to each stingray. Now, another thing with our stingrays, you may notice that they occasionally spit food out the mouth. That is literally just them chewing. So instead of them being fussy or anything like that, it's just, instead of teeth, they're brownie plates, and it's the way they chew is like in a circular motion and push that food out the mouth. That wasn't the best way to describe it, but I got there eventually. Now, the next bit is the scatter feed for the fish. And what's going to happen is Ella's going to come down with a bottle. In there will be a mixture of mussel and shrimp, all blended up into a good soup. And they're going to come down to the centre, start spinning around. You'll see why we call this a tornado feed as well, guys, as it will send the fish into a tornado. And also why we have the lovely Mike at one side, make sure she's safe. So I can turn the flash off, sorry. During this part of the show, as you guys can clearly see, Ella can't. So that is why Mike is up there, make sure she's safe. More to make sure she doesn't bump into any coral than anything else. But it is always important to have a second set of eyes and ears. Now she'll come up to the front if you guys want to give her a wave when she does, and you'll get to see that bottle that we use to feed our fish as well. All the bottles that we use in the aquarium are recycled bottles. There you go. So these guys are going to head off and go up that side and exit the tank. If you guys would like to watch our divers exit the tank, feel free to head over to the left-hand side. If anyone has any questions, feel free to come over and ask. Other than that, thank you all so much, guys, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day at Blue Planet Aquarium. Bye.
Eels.
Hello. Big eel. On the rock.
That moved.
Yeah, it did. Go, there, go.
Just got it!
See you, Harry. Harry.
Would he bite you?
Carry on.
Oh my god,
Will you stop pushing me into people, child?
Joshua. Sorry.
Alright, mate, it's fine. Take your time. Fine. Done. Just stop there. So you take time.
Fine.
Alright, mate. Not going
He's got all day, hasn't he? Set that one on for Luna.
There's your hole.
That one. That one. Lily.
Right, so maybe there.
Don't touch that. Right, move forward a bit, please. And then you can jump down there. We can always come back round. Don't worry.
Oh, look at that giant fish.
Yeah.
Whose birthday is it?
Oh, the giant.
Whose birthday is it?
Brief shout out to you. He's a small one, isn't he? Sorry about me.
He's tiny.
Right, Willow, come on.
So beautiful.
He's one.
That's enough for what?
No, that's not all.
Why are you so
Oh, you're
shy?
fine, Willow.
The skin way, what?
Don't touch the glass, please.
I didn't.
I'm just saying.
I wasn't going to. Why is that fish over
Tell her.
there? Okay. Why is that fish there? It's a stingray.
Come on, then.
Dad, why is that fish over there?
So I can walk across later. Oh, loads more tunnel.
Oh, we get out of here, but scary. I know there's a bridge.
Oi, don't you start.
There's a bridge.
You didn't want to come in and figure this.
So this stupid
Gee, come back. He's talking to someone.
I should have said
We're just going to swim.
Should we go swimming?
yes.
Vamos to the ball.
I want a video
Yeah, but we're going to go get some food.
Show me.
Sam and Marvin.
Having your video. Having your video.
Sure.
Hi.
That's,
Oh, but why are jeans sleep?
Oh, that's right. I still need to finish editing that video. The Ghostface one.
Dad, what does that say?
What did it say? Will you walk into my father's and slide into the
You walk into my farm, the centre's hiding to the...
Where is he? Ted?
You want a burger?
Please.
Oh, you're.